Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Typically, in the morning, you wait at the shanty until 7 o'clock. You go in at 7, you start walking up the ladder, climbing up the steel. Every 2 floors, you take it off. Then, you disconnect the bottom of the mast, then tie to the boom on top of the choking cable. Then you pick up the other side and do it again. I started working structural steel when I was 18 years old. I've worked on towers probably 1,000 feet high. Most people are afraid of heights like that, so automatically every ironworker has an ego. When you're a kid, 18 years old, and you have the wrenches in a holster, they're like a cowboy. I always knew I was going to be an ironworker. My older brothers were ironworkers, my father was an ironworker, so it was a natural course of events. My father was very disappointed I didn't go to college. To get off this personal topic, we had a college project this summer. One time, I had a book in my back pocket, and he was amazed. He said to me, "You read? That's what could get you sometimes." The non-recognition from other people. To say someone is just a laborer, that a woman is just a waitress, it bothers you sometimes. Some mornings, I look across the skyline for a building I'm working on. It's that building. You see that building? I helped build it. And I know there's someone sitting in their $5,000 office behind their $1 million desk, and they're never going to think about me. But yeah, I think about them sometimes.
Report.
It's on your desk.
And why isn't it in my hand? I'm a project manager. I get to work at 7:30 a.m. and I leave at 8 o'clock p.m. Sometimes you have a good boss, and sometimes you have an evil boss. He's not behind me, is he? I wish these cubicles were a little higher. I've been in every type of cubicle. I've been in the high-rise cubicles, I've been in the mid-rise cubicles. I'm really just lucky to be in any cubicle at all. I have friends that would kill for this job, for any job, really.
I paper the wall of my cubicle with posters. I bring in fresh flowers, brought in my favorite ceramic lamp. This little collection of things I have on top of my computer, I call them computer gods. I guess I have more decorations than I thought. But, in a cubicle, things like a glow-in-the-dark skeleton can go a long way.
I can see the programmer in the cubicle next to me through the reflection of the window. Sometimes I can see her and see what she's doing. Quite often, she's emailing jokes to her sister. I also acquired a webcam. I set it up so it points behind me. And I have a little window on my computer, which is the picture of the webcam. And if anybody walks behind me, I can see them.
I grew up expecting I would get out of college and make $1 million. I grew up expecting somebody would just deliver a Mercedes to my front door. It's been quite a rude awakening. This is the first time in 4 generations that I've divorced from my parents. Jobs aren't big enough for people.
When you ask someone who they are, they tell you their job. They say, I'm a doctor, I'm a newscaster, I'm a carpenter. Me? I say, I'm Amanda McKinney, and at certain points in time, I do things for a living. My mentality is totally different than the people 20 years ahead of me, the lifers. I have no real sense of loyalty to this job because they have a business to run and they'll lay me off when it's proven. I don't think anyone my age thinks I have a job for life. They think, I'm gonna get as much as I can from this job, then I'm gonna move, get a new job, and get more money. This job is the first of many.
Smelled like a burger. The register's easy. Hey, you want a burger? I took the picture of the burger. Every day the same old thing. Hello, chicken nugget, quarter pounder. And I wait for that phone to ring, that phone to ring. The phone at the end of the counter. When I see the manager writing down an order. When I see the manager making change. When I see the manager writing and I whisper, yes, give me some change, just send me on my way, okay. I'm off on a delivery, and I'm finally on my own. Delivery peace, and I'm headed for parts unknown. Fresh air and exercise, and sometimes it's those extra fries for college into day. Break to they send you on a delivery, and the wind is in my hair. No one's watching me, on the anywhere. The food is getting cold, so I'll just do as I am told. Responsibilities, I have responsibilities. My father sits at home, he doesn't work anymore. My father works a double shift at a department store. And it's first when he asks for money, and it's first when he asks for dinner, and it's first on lunch when you have to get away. I gotta work every day, 'cause I'm away. You know they stay slow and steady. I'm making minimum wage, it's against my age. If I'm a man who says I'll be ready. Wherever I gotta go, wherever destiny leads me. But now the restaurant needs me, and my family needs me. Delivery, where the customers always right. Thanks for getting me out of house tonight. Keep the order straight and nicely sorry if I'm late. To make a napkin for your plate or make you wait just to be called out here for your delivery. First thing to towards the future new restaurant. That was just the start, but wait, I haven't told you my favorite part is when they pay, and then they say,
Screw it. Keep the change.
keep the change, keep the change, keep the change. And if I get, I keep the change. If I save a little every day, I'll deliver before I'll look back on this and say, thank God for delivery.
I'm a guy who likes to work. Some people enjoy tennis. I enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader. I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. In our world of money management is still the sexiest job there is. Ask any girl in the East Bay Club. Money is hot. True story. They once did a study that found that just looking at a Materazzi made girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh yeah. And if you want to call me a shallow douchebag, a corporate tool, a robber baron, I'll take it as a compliment. Absolutely. That's what this country's about. The free market. Now it isn't perfect, but if you leave it alone, it'll sure as hell correct itself better than any regulator can. Sure, some companies will go away, some people lose jobs, and some people lose money. But that's just basic capitalism. Who developed America? Was it the regulators, the SEC? Or was it the Mellons, the Rockefellers? Now tell me what they did bad. Sure, Rockefeller exploited a few people in the fields. Maybe he shot some of them? Fine, not perfect. But who benefited? There is still Standard Oil, isn't there? Mellon's Bank is still around. Listen, how many charities were started by these people? How many museums, theaters, national parks are there for us to enjoy thanks to the robber barons. These were the giants who built our cities, who built our countries. Without losers, you could not have winners. Oh, sorry, I gotta take this. Hey. Yeah. Okay. Give me 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut this short. I have to get on the phone before the markets close overseas. Everyone's gonna work long hours these days. Kid's gotta make it, he's gotta be willing to work long hours, and he's gotta know how to outsmart the regulators to make profit. It's easy. Christ. If you can't outsmart one little government staff, you shouldn't even come to work in the morning. I should be their teacher. You know, I've always wanted to teach. That's what I'll do when I get tired of this. Work with the young people. Pass off my knowledge, my experience, my values. Good morning, Sarah. How are you doing today? Good morning, Kiki. I missed you. Sometimes there's a child you don't like, but you have to find it in your heart to say, good morning, Chaya. I missed you. Oops, someone forgot their Ritalin this morning. My name is Rose Hoffman. I teach the 3rd grade. At 9:15, we start with arithmetic. 9:15. I have tables fun on the board. Multiplication. You don't say tables, you say tables fun. Everything has to be fun, fun, fun. I tell my kids, Miss Hoffman's here, everybody works. Working is a blessing. In the old days, I had 18 to 20 students in my class. Today, I have 37 in my class. The children, they come in, they play on their phones, and they leave for computer lab, art therapy. Oh yes, I've seen great changes since I began teaching in 1967. January 6th, 1967. My students back then were very focused. They worked hard. My classroom was always a showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelf. My children were always respectful. When the principal came, they would rise. If I had to leave for a minute or two, they always found something constructive to do, and everyone sat in their places according to size. But kids don't know how to behave anymore. Someone's Wi-Fi is bad and they tell you it's yours. We tell you to mute if you don't have the floor. Kids are fighting with family now. They want me to teach on a Zoom call like that, but nobody tells me how. Back then, we actually taught in person, not on a computer screen. I'm overlooking at all the distracted faces. I certainly never expected to be teaching in the opening credits of the Brady Bunch. Back then, we had discipline and focus. Of course, we did have the paddle. Oh yes, I'm a big believer in corporal punishment. It builds respect and trust. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones, and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But why bother teaching them anything today? Nobody knows how to Zoom anyway. How can you talk when you don't even know how to unmute yourself now? The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer teaching, there's one girl that sticks out in my mind. My favorite. She wasn't very bright, but she never gave any trouble. I see her every once in a while. She doesn't give any trouble today. She has the same smile for everyone.
Hello from the deck of Flight 782. The first 2 months I started flying, I had already been to New York, London, and Paris, which is pretty huge when you're from Kankakee, Illinois. But after you start working for the airlines, it's actually not as glamorous as you thought it was going to be. Sometimes, people just get nasty. I mean, they're harassed by security, and then they get delivered to us. And your shining personality only goes so far. We get scared sometimes too. I've never yet been so scared that I didn't want to get on the plane, but there have been times at takeoffs when there's been something funny. One time, I was working first class and we had a load full of passengers, and the captain tells me we're going to have to make an emergency landing in Chicago because we lost a pin out of the nose gear. When we land, the nose gear is going to collapse. So, he wants me to prepare the whole cabin for this landing, but not for another 2 hours. And not to tell the other flight attendants because they're new and would get all excited. So, I have to keep this in me for 2 hours, and I'm wondering, am I gonna die today? And I'm serving drinks and food, and this guy gets mad at me because his omelet's too cold. I was gonna say, just you wait, buddy. You're not gonna have to worry about that friggin' omelet. When I told my parents I was going into the airlines, they got so excited. My mother especially thought it'd be great that I could have the ambition, the nerve to go to the city on my own and try to accomplish something. Really? I just wanted to get out of Kankakee.
You want to have a thrill? There's no comparison. Not even to a jet plane. Climbing on that steel truck and going down the Dan Ryan Expressway. The minute you climb to that truck, you forget about the wife and kids you just kissed goodbye. And the adrenaline starts pumping. Breaker number 9, big body, put your ears on for me now. Big trucker, gotta have a big life. So come on, brother trucker, you gotta come back, mother. Keep seeing double as I close one out. I've got to roll, 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 brother trucker. Sure enough, shame about the shape I'm in. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Going a left and a right. Goddamn dim those headlights. 4 hours sleep in the last 2 nights. But I'm gonna be alright. I got to roll, 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 brother trucker. I say where and you say when. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Outward bound from South Bend. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back on my wheels again. You're gone for a week, 2 weeks. Picking up a load at one port, flip to another. You sit in that truck, the only companionship is your own thoughts, and you don't get stuck thinking about your problems at home, so you turn up the radio if you can play it loud enough over the engine. Yeah, we truckers fantasize something tremendous. We think about the girl behind the voice, and you build up something in your mind as you begin to believe it. Moving over New Jersey, big state police. I'm in a hurry. Won't you let me go in peace? I'm independent. I ain't got no teams to dough. 'Cause the AFL and the CIO, they still don't know the road. And the only man telling me where to go is the man who runs the load. And he says, roll, 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 brother trucker. I say where and you say when. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it all up and do it again. Roll,
bill collectors. She can't even count on her husband to come home for graduation or communion. When you do get home, you're so tired you'd rather be sleeping than going to get ready on a Saturday night. I passed within my block twice. 2 trips even though. And I never come home. Either just keep on going. So you call your wife and tell her you won't be back. Hey honey, hello? Effing phone company.
Verizon Tech Support, this is Kiki. How may I help you?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi's not working and I have like $5.
I'm sorry you're having trouble, ma'am. May I have the number you were calling?
219-765-5910.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but all circuits in your area are busy.
Oh, what is wrong with you guys?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Why don't you wait 5 minutes to place your call? Again. You'd think they'd be grateful to get a live person instead of a computer. Sometimes you want to talk to them if they sound upset. For me, it's a temptation to say, gee, what's the matter? But you can't say no more than, sorry, I just can't. If you get caught talking to a customer, that's 1 mark against you. 3 marks, and you're fired. One woman says to me, operator, I feel so lonely. Will you talk to me? I said, I'm sorry, I just can't. But you can't. I'm a communications person, and I can't communicate.
So I've always thought of a receptionist as a loser at the front desk taking phone messages. Now I'm one. So of course I had to change my opinion. She had to be special, right? Because I'm so special. I was fine if we had this office party. I had to be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone, but they asked me what I did. When I say, I'm a receptionist, they make an excuse and walk away. So now I make up other names for what I do. Communications control, entry management.
It's strange, but you get tired of talking. My mouth
There
is
isn't a 10-minute break in the day that's quiet. You can't
think about
What I
it.
do all day
My
is
mouth
what I
is
say
so
as
tired and it's so
possible for
dry.
this person calls
Oh,
me
you're just
very
talking to
I
people
feel like
1,000
I
miles
just
away
slow
and
down
nobody's
and
there to
talk
talk to you.
I never listen in on a phone conversation.
Do I listen to our phone conversations?
So let me tell you.
Some people really do. Especially when it's late at night and then you're listening on the phone and it sounds so absurd.
Okay,
And you're
sorry.
scared and it just makes you laugh. It's just you're there and everyone's just
conversations.
laughing. It makes the night go faster.
Sometimes to make the day go faster, I'll do drawings. Laundry on sort of things, never people. I pretend I'm all alone and it's real quiet. I call it the land of no phone.
I never answer the phone at home.
Hello? Oh, hello. No thanks. Sorry. My husband picks up the paper at the office and I read it online. No, I don't have an office. I don't have a job. Well, I have a job. I don't work. Anyway, thank you. It's funny. In my Mother's Day, they would have called me a housewife. It's not like I sit around watching soap operas all day. I have a lot of work to do. You just want something more interesting to talk about at a dinner party, you know? Something that matters. What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife. Nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my You can't just jump up behind people and scream like that.
My bad. Here. Have a good day.
You have to create excitement for yourself, you know? Where is he? Where is he?
I'm a bit lost today already, but I dealt with it. Yeah, that's the biggest part of a dog's day, when the UPS guy comes. So, when no one's looking, kind of take him down the street. Even if he just gets up and tries to get back to at least a couple houses back. Yeah, that's the big population of us dogs. And women! You know, if you see a nice looking babe, it kind of brightens up your day. We have a code we put in the system. We put a Q, and that's the after Q. See a nice little honey laying out in the backyard in a two-piece swimsuit? She'll be laying on her stomach with her top strap undone. If you go up there and scare her good enough, she'll jump up. It gives you something to do. It makes your day great. UPS!
I like to think of myself as an upper-class working girl. The press calls me a socialite, which is just another name for a well-dressed fundraiser. To me, fundraising is like candy. You get to talk to fascinating people and promote the causes you love. What could be more delicious? I started in the 80s when I gave a party in Washington, D.C. for Nicaraguan refugee children. It wasn't for the Contras, although that would have been fun too. But fundraising is hard work. It's hard to separate people from their money. However, there is a finesse to approaching a potential donor. I never bring up money when I first meet someone. I mean, it's not a secret. They know why I'm there. But sometimes, just for fun, I like to see how long I can go without asking them for a gift. Call me a tease. The other day, I was in New York riding around in a limousine. There was a hotel strike, and I thought to myself, now this is what it must be like to feel like a bag lady. But you can't go around picking up every homeless person you see and bringing them home with you. But if you can't help it and say something entertaining, you can bring a light to their eyes. Maybe that's why they call me a socialite.
Only
people in Pike County to try to stop Bethlehem Steel from strip mining. I had to tell people again and again that they had the power to make the changes. But, see, most people in their guts didn't really believe it. They didn't believe you could stop Bethlehem Steel. But see, all people in Pike County really wanted was a park, just a place for their kids. And Bethlehem said, go to hell. We're not giving you a damn thing. So I gathered 20, 30 people together who I all saw as great leaders, and I said, let's go get that park. And they said, we can't. And I said, yes, we can. So we gathered enough people together, and we wrote letters and we protested, until we finally ended up on TV. And Bethlehem caved. You see, a couple months later, 4,000 people from Pike County all drove down to watch bulldozers grading down the land to make that park. You see, most people are convinced that there's not a damn thing that you can do. But I think we have it inside us to change things. I mean, all human recorded history is about, what, 5,000 years old? How many people in that amount of time have made overwhelming changes? 20? 30? You see, the problem with history is that it's written by college professors about great men. But that's not what history is. History is a hell of a lot of little people, men and women just like you and me, getting together and deciding they want a better life. If I could have been what I could have been, I could have been something.
I wanted to be a writer, a Major League Baseball player, own a little farm. If what I could be had been left to me, I could have been something. Then I got married. Then the kids came along.
But then my dad said sick.
A tower of strength, a center It's a pretty good day laying stone. You get interested in what you're doing, and you usually fight the clock the other way. You're not looking for quitting. You're wondering, you haven't got enough done, and it's almost quitting time. There's not a house in this country I haven't built that I don't look at every time I go by. And if there's one stone crooked, I still notice it. The people who live here might not notice it, but I notice it. Stone's my business. Stone's my life. He built a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands. It stands where nothing stood, a house of stone. The mason sleeps real good. He does his work daily flies. Quitting times it makes a prize. And then it's one more stone to get just right. It's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, not just making money and counting up the days. I daydream all the time about stone. Someday, I'm gonna build me a stone cabin down on the Great River. I'm gonna build stone cabinets in the kitchen, and everything's stone. A stone front door. Man, that's gonna be pretty heavy. All my dreams seem like they've got a piece of rock on my stove. He builds a house with his hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was, and life goes fast. But the work a mason does, it's made to last. The work a mason does. There's nothing on this earth that's gonna last forever. But with stone, you're getting pretty close. It's made to last.
Good evening, my lords. What's exciting at the bar I can offer? Ooh, it would be very boring if I had to say, would you like a cocktail over and over? So, I come out different for my own enjoyment. I say, what's exciting at the bar I can offer? Or something. Maybe if they order a cocktail, I'll give them philosophy. Or, if they have coffee, I'll give them political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My bosses don't like it, so I have to speak sotto voce. But sometimes, if I get heated, I just don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else will the world come to me? Everyone has hunger. Everyone wants to eat, and I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There is a difference. I get intoxicated giving service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like, not to hurry. It intoxicates me. I'm on stage. Somebody's not not with me. I will have my hand raised when I place the glass. Never strikes that man is customers. 16 years on this job. Woo!
wanted to play the piano. That's what I really wanted. And I'd write songs and things about my life growing up in the South with my grandmama and my mama. Now I got my own beautiful daughter, and I got plans for her. So every morning, I wake up and I go scrub rooms up at the Marriott. And at night, I come into this office and just scrub it again. For generations, that's all we done. My grandma, my mama. But my daughter, she wanna do domestic work. I ain't that particular lot. Mama worked just like her, mama before her. Domestic working was their dream. They was laundress, cooking, living, helping the girl, babysitter in a hotel maid. They worked 6 days a week, all day long, and never could get out of debt. Those were the days when the minimum wage was anything. They was cleaning women without faces. They was coming and going on first name basis. Talking to somebody who knows, and that's been too many years. Lord, I don't wanna be stuck in the laundry. Oh no, pick up a nurse and have a room. Wanna sleep to you. All day long I'm thinking, my kids are in the street somewhere. But the road is so big, the room is so big. I'm tired. All day, you were there all day. Getting something to my mind. I got a daughter with a head on her shoulders and pretty as a picture too. And she ain't gonna hide that pretty face behind those doors, scrubbing floors like her mama do. If my legs don't give up and I hold up, I'm gonna make them a better day. Oh, mama, you'll never see her get down on her knees unless she's down there to pray. No more cleaning women with no faces. No, she's gonna walk in on this last name basis. She'll be the first in this family. To have the face you can see. Lord, you're gonna be something more lovely. Oh no, come when she can sleep till noon. They will never come till she can sleep till noon. But as long as she can get up, she can come home to one of these days. Love for me all day. Can't come too soon. It's come too soon. That day can't come too soon. That day can't come too soon. That day can't come too soon.
My name is Tiff Horner. I ran this mutual fund for the students in my school. My father runs his own investment firm. I guess that's where I learned. He runs a hedge fund, you know, those are the guys always defrauding their investors. We studied ethics at school, so I'm sure I won't have a problem. I'll be going to business school, Kellogg naturally, but what I'd really like to be is a professional golfer. But realistically, I'll probably be an entrepreneur. And then I'll start a family, of course. My quote-unquote dream husband has brown hair, blue eyes, and is going to be naturally handsome. He's going to have a lot of personality too, because when we're 30 and moving up the ladder, he's going to have a lot more than looks. At first, he'll be working, but then after our first child, he'll stay home. And he'll be a good dad too. I want to have 2 or 3 kids, and maybe live in a colonial house, possibly one that leads towards Mediterranean style, and maybe it can even be backing right on a golf course, so me and my husband can play golf whenever we want. I hope my husband knows how to play golf.
My name's Charlie. I'll be 20 in 3 weeks. So I got recommended for a job in a newsroom on a Chicago paper. So I went down to the paper and talked to the editor. Told him how much I wanted to be a journalist. He liked me, had a tie on. Cleaner work was a kind of missionary kind of thing. I was enjoying my job, because all I was doing was answering phone calls. At this stage in the game, I was in a very spiritualistic mood. I was just going around and bringing everybody organic walnuts and organic raisins. I was just answering phone calls. So people would call and complain of a problem, and I would tell them that this is a capitalist newspaper. And as long as it is a capitalist newspaper, it's not going to serve them, because its purpose is to make money for its owner. A lot of people responded with a lot of these suggestions, but the editor called me to his office and he's like, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to slap his face. Now, he's a really nice person, I like him a lot. I don't know if I would get any pleasure from the slap, but my fantasy offspring of the paper was winding up and popping him. I've been thinking for months, what will I do when I get fired? Can I do something to show them, hey, I'm better than you freaks. I'm getting fired because I'm different. I had to think fast, so I turned, looked at the editor, and said, I hope you can live with the conditions you're creating. Then I just turned, walked out, and started to cry. But the editor, he hurries after me and says, wait a minute, I'm not creating these conditions, you are. And I said, no, I'm not the one who has the power, you're the one who has the power. Now I've got myself on unemployment. They were nice to me the first few times, then this woman told me to get a number. I wanted to tell her, shut up, why don't I wait outside your apartment, knock you over the head, and steal your money? But that's bitterness. I don't like being bitter. I'm a pacifist.
You think about a piece of work. Even, let's say, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. This beautiful work of art. But what if you had to create the Sistine Chapel 1,000 times a year? Don't you think that would dull even Michelangelo's mind?
See, it's not just the work. Somebody built the pyramids.
The pyramids, the Sears Towers, these things don't just happen.
I don't care how little you did, you drive down a road and say, I worked on this road.
You drive by a bridge and you say, I worked on that bridge.
If a carpenter builds a cabin for a bunch of poets, those poets owe that carpenter a plaque on the wall. At least 3 or 4 lines.
Though we labor for our minds, this place we relax in was built by someone who could work with their hands.
Picasso can point to a painting.
A writer can point to a book.
What can I point to?
Everybody should have something to point to.
You know what I would like? I would like to see a building. Say the Sears Tower. I would like to see, on one side of it, a foot-wide strip from top to bottom with all the names of every person who's ever worked in or